Hey friends, welcome back to Wedding Wednesday. This week on Wedding Wednesday, we're going to be talking about the date for my wedding. Welcome back, or welcome if you're new here. If you are new here, my name is Eric Stickles. I am a teacher, I am on a weight loss journey, and I am getting married this year in December of 2020. So, if you are new here, make sure you go ahead and subscribe down below and then go check out the other videos on my channel so you can learn more about my wedding planning, my weight loss, and of course being a teacher as well. This week we're going to be talking about the date for our wedding. We're going to be talking about our original plans for the date that we have, how we came to have that date, and how that date is going to affect our wedding. So let's talk first about what our original plans were with the date for the wedding. We knew that with Josh being in medical school, we were going to have to get married either over the summer, which really there's no summer break for them, which would have been in this next June of 2021, or we would have to most likely wait until the summer after he graduates med school in 2022. Now, personally, 2021 summer wedding was fine, but waiting until 2022, neither of us really wanted to do that because we've already been dating for 6 years and we knew that we wanted to get married sooner rather than later. So that really wasn't part of the plan. So once we had the idea that we wanted to go for most likely summer of next year, we started looking at venues and doing a bunch of research in that. And then when I was up in Washington looking at venues, I started talking to Josh and saying, hey, I know that we talked about doing June, but theoretically you also have a Christmas break kind of like I do, which he does this year for medical school. And I asked him, hey, what about December? I know it's a lot sooner, but he, at first he was like, oh, I don't know, well, I'd rather do it in summer. And I said, well, just so you know, wedding venues and pretty much everything else wedding related are a lot cheaper in the winter, especially in December, and specifically the venue that we were looking at, kind of last minute, the venue that we ended up choosing. When we looked at it, I realized, I said, hey, Josh, I know we want to do summer, and this venue would totally not be an option if we did summer because it would be about $5,000 just for the venue by itself, not including food, for the summer, and that's just way, way out of our price range. I said, but in December, it would be a little above our price range, but we could totally make that work. And he said, oh, it's a lot cheaper. And I said, yeah, it gets a lot cheaper. And so then we started thinking about it more. I looked more at the, venue and the dates they had, and I said, what do you think? And that's kind of how we, went from our original plans to what we have now. And that kind of perfectly rolls into talking about the date that we do have now. So for those of you who don't know, our wedding date is December 27th of 2020. So it is right after Christmas. We have 2 days after Christmas, which means that later on when I talk about how it affects things, you'll see what I mean there. But it's 2 days after Christmas. It is on a Sunday. It's at the end of the year. It's towards the end of both of our Christmas breaks, but that kind of works out for us just fine because we don't really want to have people trying to come to our wedding right before Christmas, and that would just be stressful. But the main reason that we chose that date in December is because the venue only had, I think, 3 dates left in all of December, and this is the only one that made sense. I think the next one available previous would have been the 20th, which wouldn't have worked for us because we, I think, are done with school on the 18th, and then it would have been 2 days later, and that just was not about what, that was not going to happen. So we jumped on this one as soon as we could. Speaking of jumping on it, we did that also because, like I said earlier, they only had 3 dates left for the year. But you guys, that's not the crazy part. This venue is already booking into the summer of 2022. So, we were incredibly lucky to even be able to find a date this year. So, that's why we chose the date that we have, December 27th of 2020 this year. Oh, and another big thing about when we were looking at venues back in March, we knew coronavirus was starting to get bigger and bigger, and people's weddings were being canceled and pushed. And we knew that people were moving into later months, like December and next year, and we didn't want to lose out on our wedding date. Not to say, they don't deserve it, but we wanted to get in our wedding date while we still could in a time that worked for us, and we wanted to jump on it as soon as we could. So that's why we took that date as soon as we both agreed on it and got our December wedding. So the next thing I want to quickly talk to you guys about, this video is going to be pretty short this week, pretty short, pretty sweet. I want to talk about how the date that we chose is going to affect the rest of the wedding. And there's a couple reasons. One being it's in winter, one being it's on a Sunday, one being it's close to Christmas. So there's a couple big things that are going to affect our wedding based on that date. Let's talk about it being on a Sunday first because that's easy. It is a Sunday wedding. Now, it is close to the end of the year, and so theoretically some people won't have to work, or, you know, our close friends and family will just take the next day off, so that way they don't have to worry about getting up early the next day to go to work on Monday the 28th. But I know that there'll be some of our other guests who do have to leave a little slightly earlier because they possibly have to work on Monday, and that's totally okay with us. We're not going to be butthurt over that. We totally understand. Life goes on. You know, as long as they're there to celebrate with us, that is more than we could have possibly asked for. I mean, we did ask for it, but, you know, it means a lot to us. You know, we couldn't possibly ask any more of them when they're already doing this for us. So, as far as it goes with it being a Sunday, I mean, yeah, people have to work afterwards, you know, on Monday, then yes, they might have to leave early. Yes, they might not go quite as hard drinking, which is fine with us because we're still paying for all the alcohol. But realistically, our wedding, like, guests need to be leaving out the door, ends at 9 p.m. And so, theoretically, the people that we're inviting, a lot of them do live nearby, you know, work nearby, like our families. If they need to go to work the next day, going home at 9, leaving maybe at 10, getting home at 11, that's not that crazy either. So hopefully it being on a Sunday won't affect it too much. I don't see how it will, so I'm not too concerned about it being a Sunday wedding. Now, with it being in December and that being, you know, Christmas, well, not even Christmas, I was just going to say winter, it does have some different things with theming that come along with that. Most winter weddings have cooler tones in their themes. Most winter weddings, especially around Christmas time, have Christmassy themes in it. And we're just not going to do that. I think the only thing Christmas really, or winter inspired, is the fact that my bridesmaids are going to have floor-length dresses. I wouldn't have done that if it was in summer. I would have stuck with a like knee-length dress in summer, but because it is in winter, it makes more sense to have them in floor-length. Other than that, we're having a lot of blush, a lot of eucalyptus, dark blue, so nothing too Christmassy. We're gonna have some Christmas lights and like on the tables and things, but they're not gonna be like, you know, Christmas lights you hang on their house, and more like fairy lights, just for ambiance and cuteness. So we're not going too heavy into the whole Christmas thing just because we're really only doing December Christmas time because of, you know, money and schedules. If we had done the same thing in June, I would have chosen the same things. Those dresses would have just been shorter. That really would have been the only thing I changed. My dress I bought before we actually decided on the date, and I would have worn it in June or December, even though it's a bit of a heavy dress. But, you know, that's not something I would have changed for a Christmas, winter time wedding. So, not affecting our wedding too much, but it is a factor. There will be some people that are going to be like, where's your Christmas tree? I'm going to be like, it's not Christmas anymore. And trust me, I love Christmas, but I don't want a Christmas wedding. I don't want a Christmas wedding. I'm already basically having like a Christmas anniversary. That's cool because I love Christmas, but I don't want a Christmas wedding. I mean, it's not something I've wanted. Nothing wrong with that if other people do, but I just never been much of a Christmas wedding gal. So we're not gonna let Christmas or even winter really affect our theming too much or anything else about the wedding. Now, also with it being 2 days after Christmas, that's going to affect our guest count. And again, just like I said with it being a Sunday wedding, I completely understand if there are some people that can't make it. If somebody says, hey, you know, my daughter from Switzerland, or she's studying in Switzerland, is flying home for 3 days, and that's one of the days, that's okay. I'm not going to be butthurt if you don't make it. You know, that like those things are totally fine. Again, most of the people that we are inviting live in the relative area to where we are getting married, and we really only invite people that are really close to us, which we do kind of expect for them to come, even though it is 2 days after Christmas, just because, I mean, Christmas is over and it's not too far from where they live, and if they choose not to, that is totally okay. It's not going to hurt our feelings either way. But we do have a lot of people that should be able to make it because we're the ones that you've celebrated Christmas with, you know, 2 or 3 days beforehand. So what are you doing, you know, 2 or 3 days later for our wedding? See what I mean? So that will affect the guest count possibly by a couple of people, but I'm not really concerned. I know, like, one of my friends from college, she can't make it because her family lives in Texas and they celebrate Christmas together. She's flying from Texas and her family for Christmas. Like, no, I don't expect that from her. So, like, that, it totally makes sense. And then another thing with our wedding is coronavirus. Hopefully, knock on wood, things are looking better by December, but for all we know, in the beginning of December, things might start getting worse, and we might have to cut our guest count down to a really small number, and we're just going to be okay with that. So that's just kind of how that goes. That's one of the things with taking the risk of deciding to get married this year. Unfortunately, it just kind of goes with it, but you know, we're looking at all the options, and we've chosen to take this risk, and hopefully everything works out. And if it doesn't, we're gonna roll with the punches. Both of our families are very roll with the punches kind of people, so we are definitely gonna be able to make it work. And the last thing with it being when it is, and it being our wedding, is that we are not going to be going on a honeymoon right now. Now, we're not gonna never go on a honeymoon. We'll probably go on our honeymoon the summer Josh graduates, or that year is my guess. Because of our schedules. Now, technically, yes, I have a wonderful Christmas break, and he has a pretty good sized Christmas break, but his is a few days shorter. So we're not going to be, you know, messing around. We are going to stay in Seattle the 28th and 29th and just have it be like a little mini just chillaxing, you know, honeymoon sort of thing. And we're going to either leave the night of the 29th or the day of the 30th. I don't know yet. We haven't booked our flights yet. So we're not going to go on a full-on honeymoon, but we're just going to like chill in downtown Seattle in like a really nice hotel and like wander around the city or do whatever is permitted with coronavirus. But we will not be going on a honeymoon right away, and I will be making a whole another video about that and like Josh's thoughts and plans for our honeymoon eventually. So that will be coming like down the road before the wedding. So like I said, short and sweet, that is the video. That is our date for our wedding. That is our original plan, how our plans changed, how we came to find the date that we have, and how that date is going to affect the wedding. Next week, I'm going to be putting together a very special video. I'm very excited. It's going to be about our story, and I'm sure Josh is going to hate it. And I love him, but we're too cute. Everybody thinks we're cute. Our story is adorable. I want to share it with you guys. I want to have this video to look back on and share with our kids and share with friends and family. So I am going to be making a video that is all about our story. Now I know that may not be the most exciting thing for wedding planning. Don't worry. I have a bunch more wedding planning videos coming out after that one. I just wanted to do it because I am going to be traveling, and it would be really fun to do earlier rather than later. So that is going to be next week. Now I hope you enjoyed this video and that you will hit the subscribe button down below and go check out my other videos about my wedding planning, about my weight loss journey, and about me being a teacher. And I will see you guys in the next Wedding Wednesday. Bye!